In December 2025, a single botnet unleashed a 31.4 terabits per second flood of traffic against a single target. This scale of digital assault is powered by DDoS as a service botnets like MuBot, which pool millions of compromised devices into a unified swarm. Launching an attack of this magnitude is remarkably cheap. Malicious actors rent these networks on the dark web for just $10 an hour. On the receiving end, the financial impact is heavily asymmetric. A single minute of downtime costs an enterprise tens of thousands of dollars in abandoned carts, blocked logins, and lost revenue. This chart shows the frequency of DDoS attacks mitigated throughout 2025. The volume climbed by 121% year over year, culminating in that record-breaking 31.4 terabits per second event. In total, 47.1 million attacks were mitigated that year alone. Attempting to absorb this exponential curve by stacking traditional networking hardware is a losing mathematical proposition. The defense mechanism has to detach from hardware constraints entirely and operate as a software-defined, globally distributed mesh. Defending against massive botnets by throwing specialized hardware at the problem ensures the defender will run out of money long before the attacker runs out of bandwidth. For years, the standard response to a volumetric attack was backhauling. When an attack spiked, network operators would detour the incoming traffic away from its destination and route it to a handful of centralized scrubbing centers. This diagram demonstrates exactly why that fails. Detouring traffic across continents to a central hub introduces massive latency for legitimate end users, degrading the service as badly as the attack itself. These centralized systems also rely on consensus to identify an attack. When nodes have to constantly talk to each other to confirm a threat signature, the coordination overhead chokes the network right when it is under maximum load. Handling modern volumetric assaults requires eliminating this centralized coordination. Every edge node must be capable of independently identifying and scrubbing threats on its own. Look at this map of the edge footprint. 337 data centers place 95% of the global population within 50 milliseconds. When an assault launches, BGP Anycast forces every malicious packet to the closest data center, fracturing the attack and containing the blast radius. Once a packet arrives at that local data center, the network switch uses equal-cost multipath routing, or ECMP, to determine exactly where it goes next. Rather than funneling traffic into a specialized hardware firewall, ECMP distributes the packets evenly across a massive fleet of standard commodity Linux servers. Relying strictly on commodity hardware ensures that mitigation capacity scales horizontally, avoiding hardware-specific bottlenecks. This schematic illustrates the Linux network stack. Packets enter the lowest level, kernel space. At the network driver level, the express data path intercepts them. Here, L4 drop checks for layer 3 and 4 signatures, dropping malicious packets at wire speed to preserve crucial CPU cycles. If the packet clears L4 drop, it moves up the kernel to Unimog, a layer 4 load balancer. Unimog continuously pulls server health metrics. If a server runs hot, it instantly redirects the packet to a healthier machine in the same rack, balancing the load. Assuming the packet stays, it finally crosses out of the kernel space and ascends into user space. This is where the HTTP reverse proxy and web application firewall take over. They have to open the packet and inspect the actual application data to catch sophisticated Layer 7 attacks, like HTTP floods. You have to inspect packets in user space to catch these complex threats, but doing so is computationally expensive. During a high-volume event, relying on user space to inspect and drop millions of requests per second creates a critical vulnerability. To solve that bottleneck, every edge server runs a background software agent called the Denial of Service Daemon, or DOST. Acting as an autonomous local brain, DOST constantly ingests traffic samples from the XDP layer at 81 times the normal rate, and from user space. Because it analyzes these signals locally, DOST can immediately spot a localized Layer 7 attack hiding in the user space proxy traffic. The moment it detects the attack, DOST autonomously generates a real-time mitigation signature without seeking a centralized consensus. It then executes a stack pushdown, forcing that new mitigation rule back down the stack, injecting it directly into the server's IP tables firewall. This creates an IP jail. The attacker executing a complex Layer 7 strike is now categorized as a basic Layer 4 threat. Subsequent packets from that attacker are immediately dropped in the kernel, never reaching the CPU-heavy user space again. This closed-loop pushdown creates a self-optimizing immune system. It strips the attacker's economic advantage by scrubbing traffic at the cheapest possible layer. Now, take that software-defined stack and replicate it across tens of thousands of commodity servers worldwide. This graphic illustrates the scale of that deployment. By capturing 83.5% of the known reverse proxy market, this architecture sits in front of 23.4% of all websites. Securing nearly a quarter of the web gives the network direct visibility into roughly 20% of all global internet traffic. Routing 1/5 of the world's data turns the network into a massive threat sensor that absorbs and analyzes attack patterns in real time. This level of scale serves a dual purpose. It is the vast digital payload that requires protection, and it is the data engine that powers the autonomous defenses. Hardware appliances and centralized scrubbing centers lack the flexibility to counter distributed botnets. The perimeter must be defined entirely in software. The operational output of this architecture is immense. Every single day, it evaluates and blocks an average of 230 billion threats. Processing hundreds of billions of malicious requests is only manageable because the system makes decisions independently, free from human intervention. True network resilience relies on decentralizing intelligence. It means abandoning the scrubbing center, scaling horizontally across commodity hardware, and pushing software definitions as deep into the Linux kernel as possible.